So we all probably know by now that the new 1.7.4 update is coming to Trailmakers, but the main focus right now is like how the new block is going to be able to make insane pod racers, right? Like that's like the main focus of the update. However, in this video, I wanted to go over 10 different build ideas that I think the new block could also be used for. So the first 3 are going to be pretty basic. Then the next 3 are going to be cooler ideas, in my opinion. And then the last 4 are going to be ones that are more theoretical and more we're going to have to like test and see how the block actually functions in the game. Okay, so in order to explain my ideas, as we do not have the actual block in Trailmakers yet, I'm going to have to just kind of draw it out for you guys. So section 1 is the basic ideas. Oh, buddy, it's hard to write. Number 1 is a flail. So this one, obviously, you just have the first part of the block right there, maybe on a rotating block like a spinning servo or something, and then you have it connected to the other side of the block. You have the stiffness relatively low, and then you just connect like a spiky bit like that. So just one of those, you know, like things for maybe like battle bots or something of the sort, so you can just like swing it upwards, over and under at people. You could also change this to be horizontally spinning like this. So just a basic weapon, but it'd be pretty cool now that we have like more of a rope or chain block, because in the past you'd have to use hinges in this case, which is also a lot more complex. Okay, so that's idea number 1. Idea number 2, a tennis racket. So you can create something that looks like a tennis racket here, and then you'd have all the blocks lining up the side, and then you could have their chain bits in the middle crisscrossing. Pretty basic. But number 3, you could create a more futuristic type train, right? You just have your train cars here, and then the block connects through there. So just very simple again, but possibly this could be a better connection than anything we have right now, but it definitely is going to be like a more futuristic aesthetic for your train. There you have it right there, is all the basic ideas that I came up with. So now we're going to move into the cooler ideas that I have. I've had a lot of fun like actually coming up with the ideas for this. I can't wait to actually like test this in the game. But yeah, I actually don't know when the update's officially launching. I don't think they've said yet, but it will be quite exciting when it does. So cooler ideas. So starting with number 4, invisible net. Essentially what this is going to do is it's going to be a little trap. So you can just set up a bit of these like this across from each other, and then there's an option to change the opacity of the actual barrier, so it'll basically be invisible, but you can have it go across. The idea basically is that you could create some sort of net, and it could also be invisible, so it's kind of like some sort of cool trap. I bet you could, again, we don't really know exactly how they're going to work, but you could maybe have them like on a piston, right? Like this would be multiple pistons probably, and on your vehicle, this is your vehicle, right? And then it would extend out the side of your vehicle, and then be able to, they would run right into it. And then number 5 would be better parachutes. So obviously if we have a rope block, it would be more ideal for our parachutes, because right now we have to use hinge blocks, but now we could use the rope block thingy. So you probably have 2 of them, one up here and one up here. My 6th idea is in the videos where they show them moving, like with the pod racers, obviously you can see that it does create a fluid connection, right? So I was thinking this fluid connection would probably be better than hinges and servos for creating like creatures, like for example like the whales that people build. So you could connect them with the new rope block and then still have the functional pieces on it, right? So like the jets and the stuff like the fins and things, but then all the pieces would maybe flow more nicely while you're moving around and look just better. So those are all of my cooler ideas. So now we are on to the final bit where I'm going to be going into my more interesting ideas that I don't know if the block's going to exactly work in a way that this would be possible, but hopefully it does. There are 4 of these theoretical ideas. Theoretical ideas. Writing with a mouse is so weird. So this one I think is pretty cool. You could create a bow, because now we have an actual string, right? So right here we have the string. It would be one string, I think, here, and this is where I don't know if it would exactly work, but if you're able to push this and manipulate like the shape of the laser thing in the middle. Like if you're able to push it with other blocks, then you could stretch it back with a block. You could stretch it back with like your projectile and then have detachable blocks on whatever's pushing it back, and then it would release and the laser would snap back. I don't know if it's gonna be that elastic. I feel like it has to be, because if not, then like would things clip through it, or would they break in contact with the laser? So that's one thing I really want to test. Like, how does the laser interact with collisions? That one fact is going to change a lot of different things. Okay. Idea number 8. This one is just something crazy I want to test, but it would basically just be building a helicopter that looks beautiful. Having the helicopter engine right there, and then putting the laser bits in between the helicopter engine and the actual blades. So you just put them here, and then the blades are hanging off. So it's just like the helicopter blades are on ropes and they're spinning around. I would just want to see if that can actually even fly. I really doubt, but it would be pretty like insane if it could. Okay, number 9. This one also is going to be interesting to see, because I don't know exactly how it's going to work. There is the thing in the configuration that says toggle. So we know that you can toggle them, the lasers on and off, that can like to connect the two blocks. So what I was thinking is you could create a sling. You could have this block here, the connection over here, and then you have it on a turning thing, pretty similar to the flail, but you launch it upwards and then you toggle the laser off, and I would assume that that breaks the connection, so that would just launch it. So right there, that's your sling. But again, I'm just so interested to see how is that actually going to work in the game, because if you can toggle it on and off, would that not break your build? And then if you toggled it, because okay, you have it on all your builds connected, you toggle the lasers off, would that just disconnect them? And then what happens when you toggle them back on? Do all the pieces come back together? I don't know. It's very like strange to think about. We need to see it. We need to get it hands-on in the game, because from the previews they've given us, we don't really know exactly how it's gonna work. Okay, and then the final idea that I have is kind of a crazy one, but it's to use the lasers as, so this is a car here, you use them as suspension, because in the configurator thing that they showed us, you can change the stiffness. So that means you can change like how much they give, and I bet you could get them stiff enough to be suspension. So I want to see how they compare to like an actual, using the actual suspension blocks. But yep, that is all 10 of my ideas for the new block. So I hope you guys are a bit inspired, and I hope you guys are really excited for the update, because I definitely am, because this block is not just going to be for pod racers, even though that's super exciting. It's also going to do tons of other stuff. This is just 10 ideas I came up with in like from the time I woke up to now, which has been like a couple hours. I've just been thinking about it in the back of my head. You could create so many other ideas with more time, and from like once everyone has the block and is using it, it's just going to be insane. So I hope you guys are excited for the update, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you're probably going to enjoy my other videos, so go ahead and click the one on the screen right now, and with that, I'll just see you in the next one. Bye!